John and Ken Show. John Cobell and Ken Champeau, KFI, AM 640.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Well, we're going to get right into it. We have not spoken to this man, I believe, since he was running for mayor of Los Angeles.
It was years ago. He's the state senator, Bob Hertzberg.
He's from the Valley.
Yeah, a Democrat, and he's written the bill that would eliminate bail for a lot of defendants.
Yep, this is Senate Bill 10. We've spent a lot of time on it. It yesterday finally passed both. It's done with the houses of the legislature. It's on to Jerry Brown. Is expected to sign it. So it's pretty much a done deal, but let's talk about it.
Bob, welcome to the John and Ken Show.
Commuters' Bill of Rights. You remember the right to turn left?
That was part of your campaign, yes.
That's right.
Yes,
that was what? How many years ago? 2004, 2005, 14 years ago.
It was. Well, you came in here with Dick Reardon. That's what I remember.
I did. I came in a bunch of times.
Yeah. You're driving around in traffic together. That's what you were doing.
That's right.
All right, well.
If you can't synchronize the lights, you shouldn't be mayor.
Well, you know what? You might have been a better pick than Garcetti. Too bad.
Why would anybody who gets out without cash bail, why would they ever show up in court for a hearing? What's the motive?
The motive is to basically have a fair system that works, right?
No. That wasn't my question.
Your question is, why would they come out?
Why would somebody, if they don't have any money at stake to lose, why would they show up for the hearing?
Because they already do. We know this in a number of other states. We know it in Santa Clara County. We've studied this left and right. By the way, it's not magic. You send them a text because they can't remember. You put on an ankle bracelet. You make them call in every day. There's a number of things you do in pre-trial services.
And wait a second.
95% appearance rates, my brother.
What's that?
In Santa Clara County, where they let them out, they get 95% appearance rates and 99% no recidivism while they're out.
Los Angeles has a different crime condition than Santa Clara.
Well,
it's a little harsher here. Maybe you haven't been back here in a while.
Well,
but it's a nastier breed of criminal.
Well, I'm telling you, is nationally in terms of what this great, grand experience you got in California when you want to hold people who aren't a flight risk or a public safety risk. Guess what? The national average of people that skip is 2.9. In L.A., it's 6.6. That bail system's working pretty well for you, isn't it? It doesn't work, man.
What do you mean it doesn't work? If somebody I don't understand this doesn't work idea. If people put money up, then they're going to come back because they're going to want the refund. Or the bail bondsman's going to want the refund.
No.
So what you're doing is you're making assertions without really backing them up?
Let me tell you, you did wrong. I appreciate your opinion, but let me tell you something. You go out, the average bail in California is $50,000. That means you give a bail bondsman 5 Gs. Guess what happens? You never get your money back. In the old days when my dad was the jailhouse lawyer, you'd give the clerk $200, and you made sure you damn well showed up to get your $200 back. Today, you go out and you got to give the bail bondsman the money, and there's no motivation because you never get your money back.
The bail bondsman returns the defendant for his hearing.
Well,
that's their job.
1% of the time. Police are the ones with all these warrants out.
I think you're making numbers up. I don't think bail bondsmen would be in business. They wouldn't be trusted. They wouldn't be trusted if they only brought the...
Can I tell you something? I'll send you the stuff so you can read it. There's one company that hasn't paid a bond out in 17 years. All the money comes in, nothing goes out.
So are we cherry picking the worst company to broad brush the entire industry?
No, I know you want to make that argument.
Well, you just did. I didn't pull out one company with a bad record. I'm looking at we've had people.
Do you want to make the point, or do you want to have an honest conversation? The reality of the situation is this: I spent the last 2.5 years of my life. I traveled all around the country. I looked at all these damn programs. I scrubbed this left and right.
Why did you care so much?
Huh?
Why do you care so much about riffraff getting arrested for crimes? Why is that your passion?
I'll tell you why. Because it's about this country. When I was left after the mayor's race, I traveled the world. I worked and took company public and worked in renewable energy. And you know what I learned traveling the world? That the single most important thing that we've got in this country is the rule of law. And I came back and decided to run for office because it's so important. I did all these traffic ticket bills because people are getting arrested and lose their licenses for traffic tickets.
Wait, hold on a second.
Try to make the system work.
Hold on. You guys just passed a bill that gives a chance for every defendant to claim a mental illness and go into a diversion program for 2 years and never get convicted, never get tried, never serve prison time. Even murderers and rapists can do this. So don't tell me about your love of country. Look what you just passed.
Example, my friend, to try to make a point. Well, you want to talk about bail and do the homework?
Wait a second. You just passed this less than 2 months ago, and then you followed up with the bail bill. The reason I don't trust the bail bill and I don't trust your arguments is I look at your history and your colleagues' history of what you've done with the criminal justice system over the last few years. Explain to me why you would give every murderer and rapist a 2-year free pass for mental therapy. Tell me what you say to all the dead and raped mothers and daughters who are victims of these guys. How do you think their families feel know that these guys aren't going to go to prison because of the bill that you voted for?
All of these rapists, guess what? If they've got a checkbook, they get out. There's no risk assessment.
No. I'm talking the bill from 2 months ago. I changed the subject. 2 months ago, you voted for a bill that allows every murder. No, I changed the subject.
I changed the subject
because you don't. You're
talking about. You're talking to me about bail. You're making these assumptions. The reality is Harvey Weinstein's got $1 million. He's walking around. Some other guy goes out and does the same crime.
You really are going to ignore the bill you passed to let every murderer and rapist get a free pass on their crime? Why'd you do that? Why'd you do that, Bob?
I do what?
You want to come into the studio and talk to the families of 10 murder victims, and you explain why murder defendants now can go to a mental health clinic for 2 years instead of going to prison, and their records are wiped clean? You did that with your colleagues. You did it. You want to explain that to the victims? You want to explain that to 10 women in Van Nuys who've been raped while their rapists are going to have this chance now?
Well, all I can say is those rapists get out under the bail system.
Are you going to explain why you did that?
Spending my time.
Are you going to explain or defend why you did it?
Hey, come on, man! You're just trying to sell noise, or do you want to have a conversation?
It's the truth.
Well, you know what? It's also the truth that these bail companies don't pay out a nickel.
It's
also a truth that all these people. We just had somebody up in Ventura County who had a sex crime.
I don't care about the bail issue as much as I care about this.
This bill doesn't let that happen.
So murderers can kill and rapists can rape, and they don't have to go to prison.
Judge to determine whether or not they should be let out.
Listen to this.
Instead of them having a checkbook. I'm sorry.
Who voted for this?
That's the truth.
You people in the Valley, you voted for this guy? Murderers and rapists don't have to go to trial anymore. Why is that, Bob? Murderers and rapists don't have to go to trial. Why?
Do you want to have a conversation? Do you want to go? I'll be happy to come back on and have a conversation with you.
No, you don't get to come back on. You get to answer the question. Here's your shot. Our audience, many of them vote for you. They want to know why. Why'd you do that?
What does that look like? What happens there?
Why did you do it?
That's a bigger issue. That's what I'm focused on. That's what I've been working on for the last 2.5 years.
What are you talking about? Are you insane? Did you know what you passed? Everyone agrees that's the law. Even Jerry Brown agrees that's the law. Everyone knows it passed. We've had on 6 district attorneys, and they all said, yeah, that's the law. Okay, so you tell me why you passed the law. And you did it secretly by putting it in a trailer bill, and nobody even knew it had passed for about a week. Why'd you do it that way? There was no open hearings on this. There was no warning to the public. People still can't believe you did it.
Okay.
Why'd you do it?
Well, look.
No other state's done that.
I don't necessarily agree with your analysis by any stretch of the imagination.
Every murderer and every rapist can get a free mental diversion for 2 years.
You know, I think you're still stuck in traffic somewhere. I mean, come on, man. You came in, you want to talk to me about bail? I'll explain to why the bail system doesn't work.
No, I don't want to talk about bail anymore.
Okay. Well,
I don't want to talk to you. You threw in a bunch of fake statistics. I don't deal with that stuff.
Okay, whatever.
So I'm talking about real murderers and rapists, and
I'm talking about real murderers and rapists are getting out of jail because they got money and they're not assessed by risk. That's what I'm cared about. That's what I'm working on.
Stop it. That's a cover story.
I want to ask you about the bail bill. It's supposed to be only for non-serious, non-violent offenders?
No, it's for violent offenders. The presumption is for detention.
I mean the no bail part of this now.
The no bail part is for cases where either there's no extraneous circumstances and there's small little nothing burger deals.
Yeah, but when they say non-serious, non-violent offenders, don't we still have...
No, it's misdemeanors. It's misdemeanors. It's low-life misdemeanors. So somebody, for example, has some kind of thing
for
out
God's sakes, would you shut up about your stupid bail bill? Would you shut up? You guys have emptied out the state prisons. You lied about Prop 47. You lied about Prop 57. Now you got cops getting shot dead by guys who were let out of prison too early. You ever hear of Officer Keith Boyer?
The public passed those propositions.
Yeah, because the politicians.
Well, not AB 109. That's
the politicians lied about it. They lied. Jerry Brown did commercials up and down the state and appearances lying about it. You lie to people because you know they're not well informed, and you manipulate them, and you emotionally manipulate them, and then they are passing nonsense. There's a huge burglary outbreak in Los Angeles, in my freaking neighborhood. Yeah, and that's because the Prop 47 guys. And now they don't even have to go in for bail after they steal stuff from my house and my car. Who the hell are you to screw up everybody's life like this? There's people all over my neighborhood terrified. A woman got a gun to her face the other night and lost $100,000 worth of stuff. Probably because
a violent crime.
That's a violent crime. And guess what? If that guy gets caught,
could have been bailed out, and now they can't.
And if he gets caught, he doesn't have to go to prison anymore. He doesn't have to go to prison. He'll never get convicted. He could claim he has a mental disorder. And the dirtbag attorneys that probably contribute to your campaign and the dirtbag fake psychiatrists will come up with some fake paperwork to say that he has a mental disorder and you have to dismiss the murder charges.
Well,
and some idiot judge is going to do it.
When I ran for mayor, man, Jesus, it was coming. In those days,
no, really, take it seriously. Why don't you take it seriously? Why are you laughing off murderers and rapists getting away with it?
You're talking, of course. Look,
well, you're laughing it off.
Rapists can get out now under the current law, and this new law fixed that from happening.
What do you?
Number two is,
what do you think people listening think of you right now?
Other people. It's just real simple. And 109, I wasn't around for. I wasn't in government. I wasn't around. I was doing my solar company. I can't
what do you think people listening are
you
thinking?
You can still say whether or not you support it as it is.
Bob, we've interviewed hundreds and hundreds of people. I guarantee you're the first politician to laugh off murders and rapists going free.
Come on,
you're one of a kind.
I'm not. Give me a break. You come on and you throw these big words around. I'm not going to take the bait.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I go to 3 syllables on you?
Me and trying to characterize that. This is not fair, man.
Well, you didn't respond. You laughed at it. Well, you laughed at the murderers and rapists going to go free. Okay, so that's who you are. That's your character. That's what they voted on. Huh? They voted for you? Really?
All right, we got to go, but we could always hug it out. What do you think?
Thank you.
Get out.
No hugs from Huggy Bear?
Okay. You tell him, and by the way, there's 100 other guys like him in the legislature too, Democrat and Republican, and everybody votes for these bastards over and over again.
That was great. You unloaded everything that we've had for years.
Yeah, I didn't want to talk about
the
bail.
prisoner dumping bill, Prop 40.
Oh, yeah, because that's the real bad stuff. The bail is just the cherry on the cake, but the cake's already been baked.
That was State Senator Bob Hertzberg. More coming up.